Welcome back. And the good news for India has come from the discus throw event where Kamalpreet Kaur has qualified for the finals of this event. Kamalpreet got an automatic spot in the finals with a throw of 64 meters and in process crossed the qualification mark. She, along with USA's Valeria Allman, were the only two discus throwers to earn automatic qualification into the finals. India's Seema Punia, though, finished 6th in the Group A with her top score of 60.57 meters. There's a slight bit of disappointment coming in for India. Early in the day, as both Atanu Das and Amit Pangal crashed out of Tokyo 2020. Atanu Das lost in the deciding set against home favourite Takaharu Furukawa. Das' failure to hit a single 10 in the final set cost him big time, and 8 in the final set too did not help his cause as he lost by a point to the 2012 London Olympic silver medalist. Meanwhile, boxer Amit Pangal, the #1 seed in the flyweight category, crashed out in the first round itself. Pangal was a little too defensive during the game and paid the price against Colombia's Martinez. Martinez never allowed Pangal to settle into the fight, and his constant punches were a menace for Indians. The judges ruled the fight in favour of Martinez by a score of 4-1. India's #1 shuttler PV Sindhu needs to win one more game to confirm at least a silver medal at this year's Olympics. The 2016 Rio silver medalist will be aiming to go one better when she gets on the court next for her big semi-final match. Take a look.
Pusala Venkata Sindhu, Olympic silver medalist.
It was this emphatic win that changed the course of badminton in India.
For a female athlete from India in any sport, in any discipline.
In 2016, in Rio, PV Sindhu became the first Indian shuttler ever to win a silver medal in the Olympics.
She do it for herself. How did she do it for India? Yes.
After that, Sindhu has only gone from strength to strength. 5 years after that historic win against Japanese star Nozomi Okuhara, the Indian ace gets another chance to make a billion Indians proud. But it won't be a cakewalk. Sindhu is up against Tai Tzu Ying of Taiwan, the current world #1 in women's badminton. That's not all. Tai Tzu Ying holds the record for most weeks ranked at the top in Badminton World Federation's history. But Sindhu has a psychological advantage, at least when it comes to Olympics.
On two of them, I guess the all-important thing.
She defeated the Taipei shuttler in the last edition of Olympics in 2016 in her march to earn a silver.
Lovely angle.
But head-to-head, the story is different. Tai Tzu Ying and Sindhu have played each other 18 times, and the Taipei shuttler has won 13 of them. One thing is certain, it will be a game of strong smashes and long rallies.
Longest rally of this game, no doubt.
For now, India in unison says, go for gold, PV Sindhu. With Boria Mazumdar and Rahul Rawat in Tokyo, Bureau Report, India Today.
And the good news for India came from the discus throw event where Kamalpreet Kaur qualified for the finals of the event. She got an automatic spot in the finals with a throw of 64 meters and in the process crossed the qualification mark. And she, along with USA's Valeria Allman, were the only two discus throwers to earn this automatic qualification into the finals. India's Seema Punia finished 6th in Group A with her top score of 60.57 meters. Boria Majumdar is reporting live from Tokyo, getting us up to speed with the very latest. He's in touch with all the players before and after all the matches too. Boria, very good morning to you from India once again. India's Kamalpreet Kaur, and correct me if I'm wrong, is the second athlete to breach the qualification mark for the final of women's discus throw.
You're absolutely correct. Now tell me first thing, what are you doing on 2nd August at 8 p.m. Tokyo time, which is 4:30? If you've got any appointments or doing something, cancel it. Because an Indian athlete making a discus final in the second spot automatic qualification is unheard of. If Kamalpreet Kaur goes on to do what she's done today,
Yes.
it will be historic from Indian sports perspective.
Yes.
So the entire country should just sit in front of your television sets and back Kamalpreet Kaur. I'll be in the stadium for sure cheering for her. 2nd August, 8 p.m. Tokyo, 4:30 p.m. India time. Your date with history as far as Kamalpreet Kaur is concerned. She's exceeded expectations. If you see the performances, 66 from the American, 64 from Kamalpreet, the two of them automatic qualification, and the rest will be the top 12 from among the A and B qualification rounds. And the qualification is now over. So she goes into the final based on today's performance in the second position, based on what she's done. Unbelievable from an Indian athlete. Again a woman. Look at the performances of our women. Meera Chanu, Lavlina Borgohain,
Yeah.
PV Sindhu, Pooja Rani, Kamalpreet Kaur. Unbelievable. I mean, I was so upset and disappointed with Amit. The mood has entirely lifted thanks to Kamalpreet Kaur.
And you know, Boria, while you're going to be in that stadium cheering, I'm going to be here in the studio and we're going to be talking on air about that performance once again. Jen, there is going to be a deja vu moment for sure, because looks like she's going to be performing extremely well for India. You were very disappointed with Atanu Das, right? I've never heard you, talk about disappointment so much as far as any player from the Indian contingent is concerned. You were disappointed with Amit Pangal as well. I haven't heard you talk like that before. So what really happened there, for the benefit of the viewers who have just tuned in, if you could encapsulate it again?
I'm not so disappointed with Atanu Das as much I am with Amit Pangal. Atanu Das was down 0-2, came back, it was 4-all, and had a relatively meek final set, losing 6-4. I'll take that. He fought well in the first 4 sets, it was 4-all. Anybody's set in the final one. Atanu was mediocre, not bad. I'll take it. Amit Pangal is one of the most decorated boxers coming into this Olympics from India. Asian Games gold medalist, Asian champion, world number 2, tremendous pedigree, has all the facilities given to him in the world, sparring in Italy, multiple endorsements, money isn't a problem, infrastructure isn't a problem, and what I've seen today from Amit Pangal, and I'm using my words very carefully here, was disgraceful. Okay? So,
Yeah.
the point I'm trying to make here is Santiago Neva, the boxing coach, Mr. Neva, you're accountable. Vikas Krishan, first round exit. Manish Kaushik, first round exit. Ashish, first round exit. Amit Pangal, first round exit. Vikas and Amit, disgraceful, two of our most decorated boxers. Vikas came in with an injury, hid the injury, so clearly either over sparring in Italy, dislocated shoulder or something. Amit Pangal after the first round was not in the fight. So Santiago Neva, as the coach of the Indian boxing contingent, you have to answer. Ajay Singh, the president of BFI, Santiago Neva is accountable. The performance of the Indian male boxers in Tokyo has been not only under par. I'm okay with under par.
Okay.
That okay, you did not have a good day. What is shocking is the lack of fight. So people need to ask questions of Santiago Neva, and if you ask me, sack him. That is the end result, because if this kind of a performance is put up, the coach doesn't deserve to be there.
You know, that's a great perspective and, of course, very strong words right there as well. But I understand where the disappointment really comes from, as Boria is trying to say. A bad day at work for sportsmen is all right, but such a below-par performance without giving a fight is something that Boria was just talking about as far as Pangal's fight is concerned. India's Amit Pangal losing 1-4 in the round 16 to Colombia's Martinez. Thanks, Boria, for joining us with those updates from Tokyo. And I promise you, you and I are going to be talking again when Kamalpreet's next match is on. There was disappointment for India in the day as both Atanu Das and Amit Pangal crashed out of Tokyo 2020. Atanu Das lost in the deciding set against home favourite Furukawa. Das's failure to hit a single 10 in the final set cost him big time, and 8 in the final set too didn't help his cause as he lost by a point to the 2012 London Olympic silver medalist. Meanwhile, you've got boxer Amit Pangal, the #1 seed in the flyweight category, crashing out in the first round itself. Lavlina Borgohain, set for a lovely moment at the Tokyo Olympics. Boxer from Assam has made India proud. She has assured the country of a medal at Tokyo 2020. Lavlina pulled off an exceptional performance in the last 8, ensuring India finds presence on the medal podium after Mirabai Chanu in weightlifting. Here is how the country woke up this morning, to Pleasant Sport updates.
Lavlina Borgohain has made history. The girl from Assam has assured India of their second medal. She will at least win a bronze in her welterweight category after she defeated former world champion Chinese Taipei's Chen Nian-chin. And in the process, she avenged her defeat from the 2018 World Championship semi-final in Delhi. In fact, she was prancing around like a tiger does around its prey, as if she knew she was going to win. The 23-year-old won through a split decision, a 4-1 result in her favor.
आज मेरा क्वार्टर फाइनल में था, मैं ताइपाई को हराया, बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है। और नेक्स्ट सेमीफाइनल है, सेमीफाइनल में और अच्छा करने की कोशिश करूँगी, इंडिया के लिए गोल्ड मेडल लेके जाने की कोशिश करूँगी।
She is only the third Indian boxer after Vijender Singh and MC Mary Kom to win a medal at the world's biggest sporting event. Her sterling show in the boxing ring will ensure India moves up in the medal tally. While Lavlina was battling her way into the semis, her family was cheering for her in her hometown in Assam. In fact, her father couldn't hide the excitement when he spoke to India today.
मेडल सुनिश्चित हो गया उसका ब्रॉन्ज का, अभी और वो आगे जाए, फाइनल तक जाए और गोल्ड मेडल लाए। हम लोग का तो आशीर्वाद है देश के लिए, इंडिया के लिए, असम के लिए गोल्ड मेडल जीत के लाए।
The entire country is incredibly happy. After all, it is one of their daughters again that has made them proud. Lavlina will now face Turkey's Bosena Surmeneli, the 2019 world champion, on August the 4th. Will it be bronze, silver or gold? That only time will tell. But it is time to cherish the achievement of a boxer. It is time to say, Lavlina, go for gold.
Lavlina Borgohain, remember the name. And come the semi-final day, sit in front of your television sets and pray. Can bronze be bettered to silver or even to gold? She was stellar against a much fancied opponent. Now she faces the world #1, but clearly for Lavlina, the world is her oyster and 1.3 billion people her strength. With video journalist Shiv Prashant, this is Boria Majumdar in Tokyo for India Today.
Reactions started pouring in as soon as the news spread that boxer Lavlina is assured of a medal at Tokyo Olympics. Here's a compilation of some of the best. Watch.
From Golaghat to Tokyo, Lavlina's journey to an Olympic medal has been extraordinary. As the 23-year-old assured India of their second medal, the country applauded its new hero. Law Minister Kiren Rijiju, who is also the former sports minister, lauded Lavlina for her dedication.
I must congratulate Lavlina for lovely boxing. Lavlina is a very, very hard-working, dedicated and devoted boxer. Very young, prominent boxer. She's from Assam and she has made India proud.
Sports Minister Anurag Thakur was delighted at Lavlina's achievement. He said the country has high hopes from its athletes and the expectations of the nation are on the rise due to performances like Lavlina's.
भारत को अपने एथलीट से बहुत उम्मीदें हैं और जैसा मैंने पहले कहा, लवलीना ने जिस तरह से आज प्रदर्शन किया है वो शानदार है, उम्मीदें और बड़ी हैं और मुझे पूर्ण विश्वास है और अच्छा प्रदर्शन होगा.
Meanwhile, Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma took to Twitter to send his wishes to the 23-year-old. Earlier, the Chief Minister had been trolled by netizens for putting up posters wishing the Olympic athlete. Posters instead of having Lavlina's photo had his. Union Minister Sarbananda Sonowal, the former Chief Minister of Assam, also congratulated the boxing star on Twitter, saying the dream lives on.
We are all proud of her success and we are confident that she is going to get the medal.
Apart from the leaders, even the sporting fraternity was in awe. Vijender Singh, the former Olympic bronze medalist, expressed his joy and relief on Twitter. Former Sports Minister and 2004 Olympic silver medalist Rajyavardhan Singh Rathod highlighted how it is the daughters of the country that continue to make us proud. While bronze is a surety, India must not feel content with only a medal. While we celebrate our heroes, let us hope that they keep striving for more. Sports Bureau India Today.
A lot was expected of shooter Manu Bhaker at this year's Olympics, but the young Indian markswoman failed to land a medal this time around. My colleague spoke exclusively to Manu some time ago on the big controversy she had with her coach Jaspal Rana. Listen in.
Can you just give us a sense of how you were preparing and what actually happened here? Even today, initially every series you started well, but then what happened?
I started well and I tried my best. I gave my best, and sometimes it's just either hard luck or maybe we try too hard. Maybe we try too hard to win. So.
Manu, you would be already aware that, ever since you've landed in Tokyo, there's a lot of controversy happening, behind the scenes in the build-up to the Olympics. Does that actually play into your mind what has happened, especially regarding your coach?
Firstly, I have been off social media since 4 or 5 months now, so I don't have a major clue of what is going on. But about the coach thing, yes, I had a lot of negativity in my life, in my shooting career and my life as well, personal life as well, and my family as well, 3 or 4 months back, and it was very negative. It was very depressing also, but now it's at least positive in my life, and I feel good and happy about everything.
But at the last moment, your coach doesn't travel with you.
The federation took the decision because I told them, and they also realized with time that everything was going negative with my life. The people whom I trusted the most somehow tried to pull me down, and because of their maybe personal benefits or something, but I was on my face also told to just pull back. So there was a lot of negativity in my life.
Alright, we are actually here talking about Jaspal Rana, who was the pistol coach and was with Manu for the longest time. But just when the Olympics were about to happen, the NRAI took a decision to relieve him of his duties as far as Manu was concerned, and Manu had to get a new coach, that was Ronak Pandit. Manu, but you said you were off social media, but still, you are in the same fraternity where people would talk about what is happening around. So mentally, how much did that affect leading into these games, leading into the Olympics, because everybody was expecting a medal perhaps from you?
I think everything was pretty much the same. I had shot few competitions also without him. Lot of competitions actually where he was nowhere in the picture at all. Not just this year, but last year also. And in 2018, my first World Cup, I had no coach then. So it's not like I have been succeeding with somebody's support all in the row. And I was perhaps very excited and very, very looking forward to the games. But I think I was trying way too hard to win for my country, and maybe that doesn't work for me.
Okay. If Federation had took this decision to get Ronak earlier, and maybe, or maybe if Jaspal would have carried on, would that have been better here?
Oh no.
No?
I think Ronak would have joined me if that was possible earlier. That would have been much better, I think.
Because, we know the stories. We saw, in fact, that image. We have that picture also that Jaspal Rana is wearing that T-shirt and that text message that you had sent out to him.
I had never sent anything. I told you I was off social media for a very long time, and my mother might have written it because she's a very emotional person, and the way she saw that he hurt me during the World Cup, and he literally was there but not really there. I had no other coach then, and whenever I was looking for somebody to help me, he was there behind somebody else but not behind me. And when I told him about it, he was like, he did not have the accreditation card. So he was there with somebody else but not with me.
Wasn't that silly of what, somebody of his age and stature, what he did? Didn't you find it, or because a lot of people from your own fraternity did say that. So didn't you find it silly what he did, coming out with that T-shirt on, written all over it, a personal message that was exchanged between two individuals, and making it out,
I think few people asked me about the message, and I told them I did not write it. And I did not think about it whether it was silly or not, because I don't think I have to think about that. The thing that I didn't even do, why would I think about it?
Jaspal Rana is history for you now?
See, I always respected him, but I still have the mere respect for him. But the thing which he did to me was not at all good. He...
Any instance that
yes.
you could recall, maybe? Because see, Manu, a lot has been said, everybody, because this is the first time that you're speaking something on the matter, and because you are the one who's most affected by all this.
I think the Federation and President helped me pretty well, and yes, they took the decision, and I definitely think it was the right thing to do.
India